Welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. And tonight is a call-in show, the last one of this season. And I know that there is a lot on your chest that you want to get off. In fact, there are already 6 of you lined up. So let me just jump right into it. I'm going to change the overlay, and then we'll get it cracking in here. Give me a second. Got to do one more thing here. Boom. All right. Korean 49er, my guy, you're starting it off. Like always, let's go.
How you doing, Jesse?
Doing good, man. Hold on. Let me switch this up. Boom. There we go. What's up, man?
And not too much. A few points from the game. To me, I think the biggest mistake this season was Kyle being insane and going with Jimmy again, especially when we know what the outcome's going to be. So to me, when I looked at the division conference final games, who won those games? Usually the team that had the better quarterback or a very good quarterback. And when we went to the playoffs this year, looking at both conferences, Jimmy was the weakest quarterback out of all of them, you could argue.
Yeah, because I mean, there's I don't think there's any question. I think he was really. I mean, so when the playoffs started, if you're looking at both conferences, it's either him or what? Tannehill? Those are the options?
Yeah, probably Tannehill was the worst, maybe the worst in the AFC.
Yeah.
So, and also in that game against the Rams, didn't Jimmy almost throw 2 interceptions to Ramsey? It looked like he was just throwing it right at him. And then Ramsey didn't catch him.
Yeah, he tried to throw multiple interceptions for sure.
Yeah. To me, I got tired of that after, after a while. I mean, this man never improved as a quarterback. People don't like me saying it. Just is what it is. All you have to do is just watch the games.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right about that. I mean, he from 2017 to the end of this season, I didn't see any improvement. He was the same guy the whole time, and that was a problem because there was a lot of excitement after 2017, right? But I always thought he had footwork issues, some problems with his base. And again, this is a novice eye telling you that. I was never a professional quarterback or anything like that, but just to the naked eye, I felt like there were some issues there, and he never improved on those. And once he had the ACL injury, and then he lost some of that athleticism, it's like, well, then what do you rely on? So, yeah, I think he either stayed the same or got even slightly worse, to be real with you.
Yeah, to me, I don't think there was a pill that he could take that he could become 2007 Tom Brady when they were just going up and down the field almost every drive. To me, I mean, you can't expect the defense to be like the 85 Bears defense, limit teams to, 12 points or less. That just wasn't going to ever happen.
Yeah, you can't. You cannot expect that. I mean, what did the 49ers average under 18 points a game in the playoffs? You can't do it. And Kyle Shanahan led offenses going back to the Super Bowl. So Super Bowl with the Falcons, not with the 49ers, Super Bowl with the Falcons. Next 6 playoff games, so 7 total playoff games, including that Super Bowl, have put up 9 points in the fourth quarter. Just 9. No touchdowns.
Yeah, that's not going to lead to wins. And also, yes, Tart's drop was bad. I'm not going to say that it was good. But wasn't there a point in the second half where the offense had at least 3 drives that stalled out and didn't get points? Where is the blame for the offense for that? I'm not excusing Tart for dropping it. It would have definitely may have changed things, but the offense wasn't scoring any points at that time either.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right about that. No question about that. And when Tart did that, okay, so here's the way that I see it. I think they scored, was it 3 points on that drive the Rams got?
I believe 3 points, yeah.
Okay, so I think they got 3 points there. And then let's say they would have gotten, that was maybe a 6-point swing, which definitely could have won the game, but there's no guarantee. First of all, there's no guarantee that the offense would have went and scored anything because, like you said, they couldn't move the ball. And there was so much time. It was like 11 minutes left in that game. I can't put it all on that one play. I put as much on the taunting call, which I don't even know if that was a real call, but let's say that it was, and the 15-yard penalty on Ward for hitting OBJ. I felt like that was a issue there where he didn't have to do that. So
Yeah. Also for next season, I'm not quite optimistic on the outcome towards the end, only because look what's happened after the 2000. When they went to that third NFC championship game under Harbaugh, and then after that Super Bowl in 2020, those seasons, you're never guaranteed a chance to ever at least make it back and we didn't make it back.
yeah, you're right about that. Absolutely right about that. And just thinking back to all these NFC championship games, the ones under Harbaugh, the ones under Shanahan, the ones that they lost, I believe they scored 20 points or less in all of them, if I'm not mistaken. So that's that's huge. Like you got to score points. Defense can do all they can, but you have to be able to score points. So that was a common theme in all those losses.
Yep. So one last question for you, Jesse, before I let you go. I
Yep.
know I'm over time. What do you think about the Brian Dable lawsuit against the NFL? Because I'm thinking there's a lot of merit to it because frankly, there's only one minority owner in the NFL I could think of, and that's the
Mhm.
Jacksonville owner, Khan.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody else who's a minority or in that club.
Yeah. I think here's the interesting thing is what people have to understand is that when you're willing to sue teams or sue the NFL, um, you're probably there's a big probability that you're done in the NFL. He's a young guy. He's good, right? He's done well. So to put his career in jeopardy tells me that there has to be merit to it. I've got to believe that there is. We'll see. I don't know to what extent. The one that gets me is the betting side of things. And not the betting, but paying him to tank games. That one is what really got me. So yeah, man, there's definitely going to be legs to this for sure. I'm curious to see what comes out.
Yeah, I'm interested too, just because I don't know about if you go in for at least for the opportunity to interview and you do really well, and maybe you don't get the job. At least you got your foot in that door. I mean, guys like you and I will never get that chance. Well, because we're not in the
For
NFL,
sure.
but
Yeah, of course.
but yeah, to me, I think, and hopefully Mike McDaniel does not take the Miami job because right now Miami's toxic.
Yeah, that would be a pretty crappy situation to go into. I wouldn't want to take that job. I'd be backing out of the interview, but you got to strike while the iron's hot. So, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Adrian followed over from Grant Show. He says, "Hi Jesse. Guess who followed you in Twitter? Fortnite dance. I'm not doing a Fortnite dance. Sorry, man. It's not going to happen. But I appreciate you coming over. I appreciate you coming over to the stream. Make sure while you're here, you hit like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. But around here, anytime somebody donates, I do give a dance. It's not from me, but here you go." I feel like that's fair. I feel like A, you didn't expect it, and B, I gave you the dance that you asked for. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, Jacob, I'm coming to you, man. What's going on,
What's
Jacob?
up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I mean, considering the circumstances that the 49ers season is done far too early, in my opinion, I'm doing
Way
pretty
too
good, though.
early. Great, man. Yeah, no, man. I feel like it ended way too early. I feel like we wasted so much, and the fact that I mean, seeing Deebo after that game really, really phoned it in for me, and I was like, man, if only Trey had played from week one and shown. I'm I'm confident he would be a pretty good quarterback in the playoffs. Especially given he'd have a whole regular season experience, going through all the growing pains, all those municipal mistakes, and you get to the playoffs and he's locked in. The team is locked in, the chemistry is high. But no, you went with Jimmy, and not saying the team chemistry is not high with him. It's very good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Trey could have provided a spark, and there could have been, Trey could really do anything. I mean, he could spark a 50-yard run. He could spark a 70-yard pass. There's a lot of pros to Trey that I feel overwrites Jimmy's pros for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely long term, there's no question about that, and I think we're going to see that play out. As far as being inserted into some of these playoff games, the one spot where I really thought they should have played them was I think it was around the third quarter of the Packer game. It was clear that
Oh
neither of
yeah,
the quarterbacks were going to throw downfield or throw with a
right.
lot of effectiveness. And I'm like, well, if you're going to have to run the ball here, you might as well go 11 on 11. Just put Trey in at this point.
Man,
He played in cold weather, and if you do need to throw, his arm can cut through the weather. Now, obviously, they won that game, but I remember thinking in that moment, this would be the time to play him. And if you're not going to play him here, which I didn't expect them to, then you're obviously not going to do it in any scenario here.
yeah, exactly. And then I mean, I feel like they should have played Trey right after that Texans game, like from the Texans game and through. He should have just started completely. Like obviously Jimmy's hurt. I mean, you went with the guy who can't even throw 20 yards down the field, and then you add the broken thumb and the shoulder. I mean, really? I mean, yeah, granted, he does, make some nice 5 yard passes and somewhat clutch. I mean, I feel like people really over, overdo it with him because, like, I mean, it's not that special. A quarterback in high school should be able to make those passes and should be able to complete it in clutch situations. I mean, I feel like that's what it should be in 49s or for excuse me. Jimmy stands overhype it way too much, in my
Here,
opinion.
here. Okay, so I was talking to my co-host who's a Lions fan, right?
Right.
And I feel like they grade Jimmy on a curve. I'll give you an example here. So
Mhm.
when Jimmy made that throw down the sideline to Ayuk, I
Right.
think all of us were like, "Oh wow." But not
Oh,
because it
oh,
was a throw that we don't
absolutely.
see on a regular basis. It's because it's a throw that Jimmy made that we don't see on a regular basis. So
Exactly.
we give a wow factor based on the Jimmy curve. But if another quarterback makes that same throw, I
Mhm.
mean, we don't even bat an eye at it. It's just a regular throw for some of these guys. So very
Exactly.
rarely does he make wild throws. And I can tell you in that Texans game, Trey Lance made 3 wild throws that I can remember. One was the touchdown to Deebo. Two
Yep.
was the one over to the middle to Kittle, and three was right before half in the back corner of the end zone to Ayuk, where
To
Ayuk
Ayuk.
was being
Oh,
held and couldn't get his hand on it.
that was perfect placement, I believe, and it just Ayuk didn't get held. I mean, I feel like that's a touchdown. And I mean, don't forget, even though it was low, that throw to Jennings outside the numbers was beautiful. With like, I'm talking about the anticipation. The anticipation was beautiful. Put his foot in the ground and he fired it. And I mean, you could see Kyle on the sideline. He's like, yeah, finally got a quarterback who would actually do that and make that pass. So I feel for the future standpoint, I feel like it looks really good and there's a lot of upside and there's a lot of it's a bright future. I mean look at the team. I mean, of course some guys are going to go and you're going to have to, work the contracts how you do, but I look at this offense next year and I'm thinking, wow, I mean, this is one of the more dangerous teams in the NFC, man. I think we're definitely going to have a good playoff run, even a Super Bowl run. I mean, I'm predicting big for Trey Lance, and I've kind of been behind him since we drafted him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the sky's the limit for this offense, and I think there's a lot of reason for optimism. It definitely sucks to lose when they did because, especially with the Chiefs going out, I really felt like this is a missed opportunity. That
Right.
being said, I think people are getting over it very quickly because there is so much like reason to be optimistic. Trey is a
Absolutely.
big reason for that. But getting back D'Amico Ryan's, I think, was absolutely huge. There's tons of talent on this team. So yeah, I agree, man. There's a lot of reasons to be excited about the future of this team for sure.
Oh yeah, D'Amico not accepting the second interview was big, and I think having him back next year just makes our team even stronger. And it like the growing pains with him. It's not going to be the same as this year. He's from the jump. It's going to be just dominant defense, and I feel like we could do that and go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Great call, Jacob. I appreciate it. Look forward to hearing from you in the offseason, brother.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, man.
All right. Let me read these. Adrian says, guess who just subbed? I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I got another one. Another Adrian. Hey, Jesse, by chance, do you think the NFL is rigged? Man, that's a loaded question. It really is. I think we could talk about that for hours, to be real with you. There's a lot that goes into it. I don't know if I'll go as far. I'll try to give you a short answer. I don't know if I'll go as far as say that it's rigged, but I will say that there are things that happen throughout the course of a season or a game that tells me maybe they're not rigging wins, but they're shaving points for sure. I could see that. I feel like anytime there's that much money involved, that there's a chance for corruption. I'll just put it that way. So, but to what extent, I'm not sure. And can I prove it? No. And I'm not going to spend time to try to do so. That's for somebody else. But I appreciate y'all for donating. Here you go. All right, Mr. Mike Miller. What's going on, Mike?
Nothing. I just disappointed in the season, of course. Everybody else is.
Yeah.
But what I want to see is them to clean up their mess as far as the Niners go. There's lots of things that need to be cleaned up. We need cap. I know you said earlier in a message to me that you think we need a defensive end. Well, if we can't stop these wide receivers from catching touchdowns and catching passes, we're not going to win anyway. Got to have secondary help. Got to have corners. Bottom line is, if we don't get a couple new corners, we're not going to win anything, period. I don't care how much pass rush you got there. You got Jimmy Garoppolo. There's $25 million sitting there that we need to clean up. You've got D Ford. We need to clean that mess up. I mean, we paid that man close to $70 million to play in 8 games.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
That's ridiculous. We need to clean up messes like that. I don't see us keeping Robbie Gould. I mean, $5.5 million for a kicker for one season is just way too much money. I don't care if he is gold in the playoffs or whatever. You can find somebody else that can kick the ball for a lot less money. As far as other people go, I want to see us get rid of George Kittle because his head is buried so far deep up Jimmy G's. You know what?
They can't, though, man. If you're talking about saving money, he is going to count so much against the salary cap if they got rid of Kittle. I just can't see it.
How? If you were another team, would you not pick up his signing bonus for a first-round pick?
You could, but man,
is he not that good? Because if a team won't pick up his salary cap for a first-round pick, apparently he sucks. It's that simple. He's worth a first-round pick.
He's getting up there in age. He's been injured. Man, I don't know.
What is he, 27 now? 26?
Oh, he's got to be older than that. Deebo's 26, believe it or not.
Sure.
Yeah.
George
he's
Kittle.
He's at least 28. He's at least 28. He's going to be 29 next season.
27. No, he's 28. You're right. He's 28. Yeah. Okay, he's still got 5 good years. Five great years left in him. Is he not worth a first-round pick?
Maybe, though, but that's the problem, right? Look at his brand of football. Does he have 5 great years?
Well, then we made a mistake signing him. If he ain't got 5 years left.
That's a whole different conversation, right?
I mean, I want cap. Let's go out and get us a couple good corners. I still think, and I know Grant and a lot of y'all don't think we're going to get a first-round pick for Jimmy G, but there's some insane owners and GMs in this NFL, and they will pay a fortune to get a quarterback. I mean, you trade a quarterback that went to the Super Bowl to Detroit for another quarterback. You get 2 first-round picks and something else for it, a 3rd round or 2nd round, whatever it was. I don't know what. It doesn't matter at that point. But that's an insane trade for an old quarterback. It happens every day, all day. It don't take but 2 to tangle to drive the price up. And apparently there's going to be 5 to 6 teams that are going to go after Jimmy G, which means the price is going up.
Man, I hope you're right about that. Here's the thing is the demand's going to be high. So I think that does drive up the stock for sure. And I'm telling you, from watching these college quarterbacks and now hearing about how poor they're looking at the Senior Bowl, I mean, the demand's going to be there.
There is literally, in this year's draft, there is no 1st round or even 2nd round quarterbacks in my book. Even though there's going to be 5 that probably go in the 1st round, there's not any of them worth a 1st or even a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
It's that bad of a draft.
I agree.
And
this is one of the worst.
Out
worst
there
drafts.
right now, ready to set your team up with somebody that's capable of giving you victories. And it's months before any other quarterbacks or anybody else is going to be available to you. Jimmy G's available now. You know, I think we're going to get at least a first, and a third for him, something like that.
Well, Avatar brought it up. He says that Peter King did say that we're going to get a first. I don't know.
NBC just put it out today that he's going to at least get a second round. That's probably going to turn into a first round. I mean, I'm telling you, NFL will give up a fortune for garbage. They do it every year.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it just happens. I mean, Jimmy G's, they're going to look at his record, and I mean, how can some of these guys, I'm next guy up, even though I'm 20th best player, but yet I get top pay. It happens every day, you know. It's just it's simple. I think we're going to get a mid first round pick for him. In the first
I hope
round.
You're right, man. If they get back into the first round somehow,
it's going to be in the first round. I'll bet on that.
I'd love it.
I bet at least a first round pick and a top 12 pick we will end up getting for him. Pittsburgh, New Orleans.
Right. Listen, hey, you know what? Here we'll do this. Since you made the hat bet, we'll do a one-way hat bet, right? Because you paid up on a hat bet. Well, listen, you paid up on a bet that you didn't have to on this show.
Hey, I just felt generous.
I know that was nice of you. Yeah. But we'll do you wear hats or no? You're not a hat guy?
I wear hats only.
You wear beanies?
Sometimes. I don't wear beanies. I've got 25 beanies over there, and I don't wear none of them.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out. If they get a first round pick for Jimmy, I'll get something sent your way, 49ers related. All right. Because I'm not confident that I don't think it's going to happen.
For me so I can correct all this effing mess. I'm just kidding. We can be co-owners. I'll let you own half of it if you pay for it. No, I'm just kidding.
There we go.
But no, we do got to clean all this mess up. There's too much waste in this team. I mean,
I appreciate it.
You know, so yeah, but whatever. But I will make one prediction right now before I leave. Okay. Stephon Gilmore will be a 49er, 100% guaranteed. Bank it.
Hey, you know what? I'm hearing a lot of rumors of that. We'll see how it goes. That one I can actually believe. I can get behind that one because I am hearing a lot of those rumors, and it does make a lot of sense. So,
and Mike McGlinchey, we've got to get him out of here. $10.5 million. No
it's
way.
All guaranteed. It's all guaranteed.
How is it guaranteed? I thought we could pull the 5th-year option back.
Nope. Once you say you're doing it. Here's the thing. It's fully guaranteed if they traded him, which nobody's going to want him. If they trade him, that full salary goes with him. So there's nothing dead against the books. But it's fully guaranteed.
Then, at this point in time, we got so many. The guy we got from West Virginia, he can step right there. Jalen Moore can step right into that right guard position or right tackle position. He's not needed.
Listen, I don't disagree with you there. I just don't know if anybody's going to be willing to pony up $10+ million for the kid, especially coming off of an injury.
Let's pay half of it to get him the hell out the door, just like he did with Von Miller.
We'll give you a 6th and him for a 7th.
I'll give him to you, and we'll pay $5 million of it. Just get him out the door. That salary cap and say our kicker's salary cap can go towards Stephon Gilmore and almost pay for him to come over here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and Gilmore, I don't think will be that much either. I think, he had a little bit of a down year. Obviously, he's older. I think they can get him pretty cheap. 25,
30 sites today on it and everything. They're saying he's going to project out at about 12 to 13 million on a 2-year deal.
Oh, okay. So 12 million all in.
No.
Not a year.
24 million all in.
Oh, no, I'm not paying that. No. Because he hasn't proven anything.
This year, he had 2 interceptions. He was a lockdown, shutdown corner still. He plays the outside guy, which means OBJ's done when he plays us. So you don't even get to look at the ball anymore. You need that.
If he's that much, I'll tell you what. I'll put some eyes on film during the offseason. I'll get back to you on it because I want to see. Yeah. I didn't watch him enough to say no, but I feel like that's steep. But
if he played a full season, he'd have 5 interceptions. We ain't got nobody on the team that's capable even half of that.
No, that's true. That's a good point. I'll
We
give you
need
that.
playmakers. We need ball hawks. We need center fielders.
I'll give
You
you
have a
that.
nice
I will
night.
give you that. All right, brother. Have a
Yeah.
good one.
All right,
Later.
bye.
All right, let me be courteous to everybody waiting backstage. That way you guys know what's going on, who's up next and what the deal is. So we've got Viet, Heat, we've got you. I saw you fall out, so I saved your spot. We got Viet, we got Heat, we got Keith, Mav, Alsho, Pico, Callie, and then Ben. So if you guys can't wait, I totally understand. I just like to be courteous just in case you have something going on. You're not able to wait around. I completely get it. But if you can, I will definitely get to you. I just want to let you know what the order is so you kind of understand about how long you'll be waiting. So Viet, we're coming to you right now, brother.
Hey,
what's
what's
going
up,
on,
my
man?
guy? What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know,
Yeah, I'm doing all
obviously,
right too, man. I ain't too bummed out about it because I mean, like I told you, like
future's
the
bright.
farther we make it, the lower the expectations I was gonna have. So, well, I mean, are we really surprised that we lost that game? Like
No, I'm not surprised by any means. No.
yeah, I think we were right to be confident because and I think both teams had the right to be confident, but it just came down to who wanted it more. When I saw Aaron Donald just rallying his troops, like I think that's it for us because it just seemed like they wanted it more than us.
Yeah, hold on. I got to address this because this is my guy Shay. He comes through. This is what I love about Shay is he trolls with super chats because he knows they have to be read if he trolls through that way. Huge Trey Lance fan. Don't let him fool you. Anyways, keep going.
That's funny. What was I saying? I mean, yeah, at no point in this playoff season did I think that we were a true Super Bowl team. We were just a good team that was just getting by, and it was just going to be down to Jimmy. And when he didn't throw, like I always look at Jimmy's interception as if he throws it in the first half, we got a pretty good shot to win. If he throws it in the second half, that's a bad omen. And when he didn't throw one, like, okay, maybe this is the game where because there were so many. I feel like every time he rolls right, that's like either an interception waiting to happen or a close interception. The Cowboys game happened. He threw it when he rolled right. Packers game, he rolled right and threw the interception. When he rolled right in the first half, I was like, oh, there's the interception, and he got away with it. I was like, oh, maybe the karma's on our side this time, right? And he kept doing it, and honestly, I don't blame anybody. I don't even blame Tart for dropping that because it happened in a crucial moment. Like, how many house calls did the Rams drop in the first half?
No, for sure. You're right about that too. I mean, I think Cooper Kupp and then that other
Kupp dropped the house call. The other dude, I can't even pronounce his name. Nobody knows who he is. He dropped a wide open touchdown.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. So it does happen. Absolutely. And for me though, I don't know. Here's what's crazy is going into it. I'm like, there's no way they're going to win a Super Bowl with Jimmy. Like, you just don't win Super Bowls with quarterbacks at that caliber. It very rarely happens. It's probably not going to happen here. But the flip side is once they beat Green Bay, I was like, oh man. And then once the Bengals beat the Chiefs, I text my friend, I'm like, we're going to the Super Bowl. Like, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Like, I really genuinely felt it. So
yeah, dude, my expectations went through the roof when the Bengals won. I was like, oh, this is too good to be true. I got super nervous. Like I started having expectations. And I'm like, you gotta calm yourself, man, because the Rams are really good. They definitely can beat us. So good thing I tempered it in time to not feel heartbreak of that caliber.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, man. It's yeah,
but yeah,
it's hard.
Let's move on to the next season because I want to talk about sort of just some small things. I think. Obviously, with the corners, and I think everyone's talked about it, right? So I don't want to talk about that. I think next year, I think Deebo can really repeat this performance because of Lance. Lance presents another running threat. So it's not like Deebo, it'll take some pressure off of because I feel like all the pressure was, at least all the pressure of being good or producing was on Deebo. I think Lance can really take that off, which even his wheels. And I think we can bring in a speed demon. Like, he doesn't have to be great. He doesn't have to be like McCole Hardman or Tyreek Hill. Just someone that can take the lid off of the of the defense and give them that threat, because I think that threat will create much more underneath stuff, because it'll definitely take one safety away from the attention of the middle.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Here's the thing. I think Deebo can do more in the receiving game, and I think that he would do less in the running game, especially if they bring back Mostert, right? Because they didn't have that home run hitter this year. Raheem could be that home run hitter and take those carries away from Deebo, which I would prefer. Like, I want his career to last a long time. But remember, I mean, he was on pace to eclipse 1,000 yards in like 8 games or something like that. And then it took him like 3 games to get there because all of a sudden he started running the ball a ton and being effective. So I think he can put up a 1,500-yard receiving season. I really do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And when Mostert coming back, I think with Elijah Mitchell is legitimate starter caliber. With him and Mostert, they could really take the pressure off of each other. I think that could really help with the injury-prone players, because Mostert was injured because I think we were just overusing him. And Elijah Mitchell, I'm surprised Elijah Mitchell didn't get hurt, didn't get injured in that last game, because there was just so many body shots just he was taking.
Yeah, it was rough, man. He's a bruiser. He's more of a bruiser than what people thought.
Yeah,
Obviously ran a 4.3 in the combine. Mitchell did, but man, he wasn't that fast. I mean, once he gained his weight back, he's more of a mid 4.4 guy, which is cool. Like, he's fine.
That's fine, yeah.
But they need a home run hitter, and Deebo had to be that guy, and hopefully he doesn't next season.
Yeah, and then the style that we're playing with requires attrition. We need bodies out there that can keep doing that. Otherwise, if one guy keeps doing, that's why, like, I'm surprised Deebo isn't in the hospital. Like, the hospital ball, he threw, like, oh my god, dude, you can't do that. I feel bad for Deebo because he laid it all out there, and he's the one that deserves to cry.
And not only that, he defended Jimmy through tweets earlier in the week, and then he got hospital ball. It's like, dude, come on, man. You can't write this stuff any better. Anyways, all right, brother. I got to get to the next one. I appreciate you. Hey, Matt, I know you're a Panther fan, my guy. So you, first of all, J.C. Horn, savage. Can't wait to see him come back. Would you guys be interested in Jimmy G at all? Like, just knowing your quarterback situation, if you don't get a Watson or you don't get a Rodgers, which probably pretty likely you don't get either of those guys, would you guys be interested in a Jimmy G? Just out of curiosity. And then also, any chance of you guys re-signing Gilmore? We were just talking about him as well. So 2 questions for you, Matt, if you can answer them. All right, a few people dropped out, which means Heat, I'm still coming to you. Then it's going to be Keith, Mav, Callie, and my guy Eric. So Heat, I know you wanted to talk about the crowd noise at SoFi. Were you at the game?
Yes, I was out there at the game on week 18, and I was also out there on Sunday. And even at week 18, even Deebo agreed that thought, hey, they're pumping in noise in that stadium. I looked at both games, and I thought last Sunday we had even more red in the stadium than week 18. And God, it was loud on Sunday. It was loud, and I was really surprised. And even all my friends on the internet, on the chat, said, "Hey, it doesn't make sense how they are so loud at the game right now." And it really surprised me because, man, God, the stadium was red. It was blooded out, Jesse, and it didn't make sense. And it felt like they're pumping in noise the whole time. And that announcer, I tell you, is so annoying. It could be first and it could be third, like 1st and 10, and he's screaming, "Oh, let's go Rams fans!" And man, it just was really surprising to me, and it broke my heart because, man, we were all there. I drove down 5 hours to LA, me and my friends, and it was red, and they were almost louder, Jesse. I'm telling you, they're almost louder than us. And it didn't make sense to me. I
felt like on TV that they actually came across that they were louder than the 49er fans.
Yeah. And I was surprised. I was surprised, Jesse. And one more other point. I'm excited to see Trey Lance. I'm excited to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo because Kyle now could open up his playbook. We could throw the deep ball now, and we also have a mobile quarterback. And it's obvious that last game that Jimmy almost didn't trust. I mean, Kyle didn't trust Jimmy throwing the ball, doing what he wanted to do without throwing a pick. And
you're right about that. But here's the problem, right? Is Kyle doesn't trust Jimmy. And I think Jimmy knows that Kyle doesn't trust him. And so it just makes for this like tension and this, oh my God, I have to be perfect probably mentality from Jimmy. And Kyle Shanahan's like, well, if you're not perfect, then I don't try. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a weird dynamic that happened there. And I feel like that's all gone. And we know what Jimmy's limitations are, whether you fully support him, you're against him, whatever. He has limitations, and those limitations were on full display once they came in and stopped the run game, which was everybody's game plan, but nobody could do it. And they figured it out. It was like, okay, like we know Jimmy can't win this game on his arm. It's not going to happen. And as the game unfolded, it got worse and worse, and that was that. So,
yeah. Do you think Deebo's injury contributed to him not getting the ball in the fourth quarter? Do you think he was hurt?
I don't. And the reason that I don't think so is because he's going to the Pro Bowl this week.
Yeah.
If he was hurt, he wouldn't go to the Pro Bowl.
Right. You think those guys are going to go to the Pro Bowl? All of them?
Well, he said that he's going and he wants to play and be around the guys. I don't know about Mac, if he'll actually play or what's going on there, or Trent Williams. But yeah, I do. I think that I think Deebo's going to play. I think he wants to play.
Yeah. But going back to our original, I'm sure. I think the Rams definitely pump noise. I don't know how you prove that. Could they get in trouble for that, Jesse?
Oh, 1000% they can. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I think it was the Saints? Somebody in the chat, let me know. I think it was the Saints got in trouble for pumping.
Or the Seahawks too.
Yeah. I think I think you're right. I think they did get in trouble. Yeah, absolutely you can. But the thing is that it's worth it for these teams. I mean, what are you going to do? Give up a late round pick or get a fine? Who cares? If you won, then it doesn't matter. Like they get a Super Bowl out of it. Like, and that's not the only reason they won, but it certainly didn't hurt the cause. That's for sure.
No. Yeah. When I was walking out of the stadium, all I see is red. There was only Niner fans walking out of that stadium.
Yeah.
It was like 7-1 Niner fans to Rams fans.
Oh, it looked crazy. Like that on TV though. That's like, it legit looked that way. When that game came on, I go, oh, that whole lower bowl looks like 49er fans. It was crazy.
Oh, man. God bless us. I'm looking forward to next year. It's Super Bowl or bust, no?
Yeah, it is. But the flip side of that is I don't want to put that pressure on the kid. Like, I think he's going to be fine, but there's so much that can go wrong with the team, man. You just never know. They were relatively healthy. I mean, look, outside of Mostert and Verrett, they were extremely healthy going into the playoffs. And that was a big deal. So who knows what happens next season, right? They may not be healthy going into the playoffs. They may not make it because they don't have health all year. You just never know what's going to happen.
Was it luck or skill, Jesse? Last question.
To make it that far?
To make it that far.
Oh, it was skill. It was absolutely skill, man. That 3-5 team was not indicative of who they were. That last 9-game stretch in the regular season and then in that postseason, man, that team's a really, really good team. Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you, Jesse, for having me.
I appreciate you waiting, man.
All right, man.
Later. All right, Keith, we're coming to you. Keith, Mav, Callie, Eric, and then EMA Beats. Let me do this real quick. Viet has a question. Says, Happy New Year, Jesse. What rookie from this year's class could make a big step next year other than Trey or Ambry? Well, I mean, the other Trey could, right? Sermon. I think they need Banks too. Like, if Banks can become a starter, then that's huge for this team. He doesn't have to be amazing, but if he's like an average starter, that would be a huge jump from him. I mean, this is a guy that didn't see the field at all. I think he's one of 3 second-round picks that didn't see the field at all this year. It was him, Kyle Trask, which makes sense because he was sitting behind Tom Brady, and then there was another cat that got injured and was unable to play. Outside of that, second-rounders play. So a jump, if he can become a starter, that would be a huge jump And I think that's possible. I think that they're kind of, no pun intended, but I think they're banking on it, to be real. Let me show you some love for this. Appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, you brought up your own right here. Jalen Moore, definitely. All right, Keith, I'm bringing you in, man.
Hey, what's
What's
up,
going
man?
on? Can you hear me?
What's up? Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
All right, followed you from Grant Stream, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I
Like
appreciate it.
your
I'm glad you
content,
calling in.
man. Been following you since last year when you started the Trey Lance bandwagon, I think.
Yeah, as far as Grant show goes, I definitely did, man. I was all over the Trey Lance thing. Absolutely.
Well, I think you were right, and I Kyle confuses me, man, because he comes off as kind of brash, and he went all in to trade all those picks to get Lance. And
Mhm.
so to me, it's like in poker, I'm putting all my chips on the table. I'm like, well, shoot. At some point this year, we're gonna play the rookie. We went with that aggressive, and then it seemed like just like the game the other day, when it was time to be aggressive, he went conservative. So he's a difficult read for me when it comes to that. I mean, go
He
ahead.
I agree. He is a difficult read, and here's what I likened it to. The fact that they went all in to go get him and decided not to make him the starter, to me, that's like saying, "Hey, I'm going to bet my house on whatever this bet is, but I'm not willing to put in the flat screen TV." Like, what sense does that make? You've already
Right.
bet the house. Well, you don't even have a house to put the flat screen in if you lose this bet. Just throw the flat screen into the bet. Like, that's the way that I looked at it. It's weird behavior. And but it also shows up in these big games, right? When he should go all in, when it's 4th and 2, and you're an offensive minded coach, and you know that this game is kind of starting to turn the other direction,
That's
and you
right.
have a chance to put it away right then and there, and you're like, I trust my defense. I mean, that's it, it's all weird behavior. It definitely is.
I think the defense played exceptional. I think they were on the field way too much in the second half.
Yep.
And to hold an offense like that to 20 points, I don't think you could ask for more. Um, I don't think, like one of your callers said, we will not get a first round pick for Jimmy. Because what was the thing in the press conference Jimmy said? Where did he say he wants to go?
He wants to
Somewhere
go to
that
a
what?
winner.
Will a winner trade a first round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo?
I mean, I doubt it. I really do. I
I,
mean,
I
it depends on what you consider a winner. Like, is Washington with Jimmy a winner? Is Carolina with Jimmy a winner? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, that's the hard part.
well, those
Pittsburgh
two
is probably.
teams are not winners right now.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is. Pittsburgh, I mean,
They're
Tomlin's
not
never
giving
had
a
a
first
losing
round
season.
pick. They're
They're
not giving
not giving a first round pick for Jimmy.
it.
I mean, I think to your point, like callers have been saying, the NFC is going to be wide open. If our roster stays healthy, we should be one of the favorites to come out again.
I
I
agree.
did think we blew a big opportunity, but I didn't look at Kansas City. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I bet every road game on my parlay from the divisional to this, and I didn't lose but one game, and that was the Bills Chiefs. That 7.5 I took on Cincinnati because I really have high respect and high faith in Joe Burrow. I really think he's been under the radar, and I put him on a more of an elite level than probably most people will. I probably will now because he's in the Super Bowl, but I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
had I just had even before that I took that 7.5 points easy, and when everybody said that was going to be a blowout. Going back to us, man. Another thing, we're not trading George Kittle right now.
No,
Um,
it's too much money, man. Too much
it's
money.
too much money. He is still a top 3 to 5 player at his position. It's not like
Yes.
he's been all pro. I mean, you find other ways to dump cap space, and a lot of that's going to be Jimmy, and hopefully we shore up our secondary when it comes to that. Um, I I don't know if your last caller said he thinks Deebo can have the same year. I think he can be an all pro still. I don't think he can do it the same way he did it this year. I
I
think
agree.
that was way too much on him. I mean, what you think?
No, I agree with you. I think he has to do it through the passing game. And I
Right.
think that's why a guy like Raheem Mostert, who I don't think they should necessarily resign, I think they will resign him because he is that home run threat. And they had Deebo in the backfield because he had to be that. They didn't have it without him. And so they moved him to the backfield. Now, if you have Trey, who can also run the ball, and you pair that with a guy like Mostert for 7 to 10 touches a game, now you've got it. And Deebo, I mean, let's be real. For all intents and purposes, this guy easily could have been a 1,500-yard receiver, no question about it. They
100%.
just went to the running game a lot. So, yeah, I think he can kill it next year. Just has to be done differently.
I do too. I mean, no way he can do what he did this year. I don't think I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been watching football since 88, 89. I don't think I've ever seen a player that can do what he did this year. I know Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown, but in a vacuum, I think Deebo had one of the most impressive offensive seasons that I can remember. It was just spectacular, and he did it. I don't remember him having a bad game. I mean, his average game was a good game for most. I'll go back to what your caller said. Even when, because I don't think Jimmy has not thrown a pick since like week 6. He's thrown a pick every game the last I can remember. I don't remember when he didn't
Falcons.
throw a pick.
I think Falcons was the last one.
Okay, but the Falcons are the Falcons. I live in Atlanta.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
I mean, he has a. I call him. I call him the Undertaker. You know, how the Undertaker gets out of the casket.
Yeah.
So
That's
one
Jimmy.
of the things I was watching a Tennessee game, and I listen. Sometimes I listen to the opposing team's broadcast when I'm watching the game.
I like it.
The guy said when he threw that pick in the red zone, he said, "And a dead crowd awakens." Like the game was over, we were up 10-0, going down to score. He throws that pick down in the red zone, and it's like it just gave them new life. And be honest, after we lost that game, I thought that was going to put us out of the playoffs. Like, luckily we rebounded and won that game in overtime in week 17. But that Tennessee game could have put us in the playoffs where we wouldn't have had to worry about that overtime game.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right about that. Yes, of course. It wouldn't have even mattered. They could have rested him. Trey could have played week 18 as well. And then maybe Trey plays going into the playoffs if he plays well in that game. Who knows?
We would like to think that, but Trey wasn't.
We know it wasn't going to happen. I feel you. I feel you. Keith, I got to get to the next one, my guy. I appreciate you calling in.
No doubt, man. Take it easy.
All right, later. All right, Mav, I'm coming to you. And then Callie, I'm coming to you after that. What's up, Mav?
Hello.
How you doing?
All right. I'm here to stop the George Kittle slander. Please stop the George Kittle slander. Let's not even talk about contracts. We're acting like George Kittle didn't have 910 receiving yards this year, and he was hurt for almost half the season and only played 14 games. I don't understand why people say George Kittle has gotten worse. George Kittle hasn't gotten worse. It's just that other players have gotten better. There's more targets to go around. You have to get the ball to Deebo Samuel. You have to get the ball to Brandon Ayuk. Jawan Jennings is taking some of his targets. So somebody is going to have less receiving yards. That's almost like asking, well, that's like if Robert Woods was playing for the Rams and was like, man, Robert Woods is just really falling off. Yeah, because OBJ is getting more touches.
Right. You know what the problem is in this offense, though, is that none of those guys were really good. I mean, other than Deebo, you know that Ayuk and Kittle had, I think it was 10 combined catches in the first 2 games of the playoffs, and then they got, I believe, 6. So 16 catches between Ayuk and Kittle. Those guys that talented in 3 playoff games. That's another reason. Like, right? We're moving on from Jimmy for a reason.
It's hard to tell from Brandon Ayuk because there's some plays where he was open on all 22. And, like, it feels like sometimes Jimmy Garoppolo just doesn't trust him or doesn't trust himself to get the ball there, to be honest.
If they would have went to Ayuk, if they would have just gone to him heavy in that game, he probably could have had almost 200 yards receiving and they would have won that game because he was bodying who was ever on him that whole game. The whole game he had him bodied.
Secondly, what is people's problem with Mike McGlinchey? He's a good tackle. Like, he's not great. He's not necessarily terrible. He's just okay. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why people don't like Mike McGlinchey, and he's gotten hate for so long. He's good at his job. Now, is he just gonna completely hold down the right side? No. He'll give up his pressures and he'll give up his sacks. But again, strong right tackles cost a lot of money, just like strong left tackles cost a lot of money. So
I'll tell you why, and this is it right here. Dick Tracy throws it out. He says McGlinchey's a bust, and the only reason that that's said is because he was a first round pick, and there was other talented players to be had. That's the only reason. If McGlinchey was drafted in the second or the third round, nobody would say a bad thing about him. I guarantee it. It's that first round, 9th overall pick. That's what the issue is. Which again is not McGlinchey's fault, right? McGlinchey didn't pick McGlinchey, but that's unfortunately that's the circumstances that players get thrown into. If you're a first round pick, I mean, it's not like Solomon Thomas is a bad player. He could be in the league for a long time, but for a first round pick, a high first round pick, there you go. Now you're always tied to that, and so now you're a bust. You're no good. Reality is you can play football at a high level. It's just not near as high as what you were drafted at. That's the problem.
Like, I'm literally reading the chat right now, man. Okay, let's talk.
Don't worry about it. If you read the chat, you'll get caught up the whole time, and you'll be defending yourself all day. Say what you got to say and roll with it.
Mike McGlinchey is fine. I'm not saying Mike McGlinchey is the greatest right tackle of all time.
No, you're definitely
okay.
not.
Like, and that's fine. But you have to understand, we don't have any better backup right tackles. Tom Compton is not better than Mike McGlinchey is. He just got schemed around. And they got exposed inside that Rams game on that final drive. He got beat like 3 plays in a row. Plus, like, a lot of the snap issues that were going on, why Kyle didn't call a timeout makes no sense to me.
No sense.
It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, that was a big play. It felt like their offense was off from that moment on. Multiple times they were either running up against the clock or they snapped it late, or there was a bunch going on, man. I just felt like the whole offense was out of sync, and you got to put that on the guy calling plays, man. Like, how was he taking a long time to get play calls in? Was he pressing in the headset with Jimmy? I don't know, but it felt that way.
And it felt like, I think there was a play where it felt like I didn't know where he was supposed to get set, and that resulted in another delayed game. Like, that's just stuff where you have to call timeouts for.
Yeah, I agree. Agree with you 100%.
And then lastly, I want to attack the corner situation. Corner is a really interesting spot for us right now because we don't know if we're bringing Verrett back. There's a lot of one-year guys inside the cornerback room. And then you have these 2 corners that you selected, one of which is Ambry Thomas that you're high on, and the other is Diamador Lenore, which is, I guess he's supposed to be your slot after K'Wan Williams is gone. I guess that's what the role for him is supposed to be. But I don't know, when you go out and you get someone like Stephon Gilmore, or you go out and finally get that number 1 corner that you have, you're kind of putting those other guys that you just drafted in a very awkward position. So I wonder how they're going to tackle that. And then I also wonder how they're going to address edge going forward.
I'm with you 100%. Edge, I think, is a huge need. I think Ambry's made it at least to where you probably don't have to spend that second round pick necessarily on a corner. I think you probably spend that on edge. Either that or you bring in somebody. But yeah, that you're right. If you bring in a Gilmore, see, I'm curious because I feel like Mosley could play nickel a little bit. I feel like he's a jack of all trades. Maybe he's the guy that could kick in and play that nickel spot. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, maybe he starts with, let's say they get Gilmore. Maybe him and Gilmore start, and then on third downs or, second longs or whatever, when they go and bring in a nickel corner, Ambry comes in, he plays outside, Mosley kicks inside. I don't know. I think there are options there, but yeah, it definitely makes it interesting because if neither of those guys can kick inside, then what are we really doing, right? You're spending a bunch of money on an aging corner that has to start, and then you're benching the rookie. Like, that doesn't seem like a way to go either. So, yeah, I'm curious to see how that would play out.
To close that out, I just want to say that people act like getting a number 1 corner is going to just fix the 49ers quarterback issues. Like, for example, like teams scheme very well against the 49ers corners, and the Rams did that really well. Especially, they had a lot of Cooper Kupp inside. Having Stephon Gilmore, unless he's going to travel, isn't going to necessarily solve that problem.
Right. I agree.
I feel like it's also just a flaw in the 49ers scheme, and it's not always just on the corners that we have.
Yeah, that's true. They don't travel. But if they, I mean, who knows? I don't know that Gilmore is a lockdown corner anymore, but if they had one, would he travel? That's the thing that we just don't know. We have no idea. They just haven't had one in so long. I mean, Dion, was he the last real lockdown corner they had? It's been a long time, man. So it's hard to know what they would actually do. I did feel like there were moments where Mosley could have traveled. They showed it in that first Green Bay game. I thought they would do it in the second one, and they really didn't. But yeah, you're right. That's not their MO. At least not now. It's not.
Mm-hmm. It was nice talking to you, Jesse.
You too, brother. We'll talk later. All right, Callie, coming to you. It's going to be Callie, Eric, Ime Beats, Shay, then my guy Bay Area Baller. All right, let's do this. What's up, Callie? Thanks for waiting.
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going really good, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I mean, I feel like I moved on pretty well after a loss like this. So
probably a lot faster than what you thought you would, right?
Yeah, because right after, I was like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna hold it down, but then, it moved on pretty well. I'm really trusting in Trey Lance. This I feel like we got a really bright future, with all these signings, free agents, things that's going on. I'm really trusting John and Kyle going to make the right decisions with some signings, and trying to put in the right pieces to bring it back and put us on top for this next season. I feel like they learned their lesson when it comes to making these poor signings. You've seen what happened with D Ford. You've seen what happened with Quan. We had to trade him. You see what's happened. What happened with Jerick McKinnon? Man, we paid some money on him, and then and you see what's happening with Jimmy now. So I think they learned their lesson with these signings, and I think they're going to make the right moves to get us on top, and just try to see what we can do with Trey Lance. That's the main focus.
I'm just trying to make sense of those signings, and what comes to mind as you were talking is I felt like they had to spend some of that funny money because they had a lot of money. They were trying to change the culture. They were trying to make big splashes and turn this team around. So, like in hindsight, I can see why they would do that. And so probably going forward, I think they've, 5 years in at this point, I think they've probably figured out a good method of who they want to keep, how much they're willing to pay, and they've got all that figured out. So I would say a lot of those bad signings they had they'll probably be few and far between going forward.
Yeah, definitely. So a question I have for you is that you see when we first was using Trey Lance, with I think it was against the Seahawks and also against the Cardinals. You see Kyle, he's calling a whole lot of these run plays for him. Do you feel like Trey Lance is really going to? You think Kyle's really going to call these plays to where he's going to continue to keep running, or do you think he's going to have him drop back more and really start bombing it? Because I feel like Trey Lance is really, he wants to go for those bombs at times.
Yeah, I think Trey Lance is a pure passer. I really do. It's something that showed up a lot on film and is why I liked him a lot before they drafted him. To me, even though he has the skill set to be a big time player, somebody that takes a lot of risks, he actually doesn't take a lot of risks. He plays pretty conservatively, and when he takes off and runs, he's often looking to still throw the ball and try to stay behind the line of scrimmage. So to me, I feel like they are going to dial up a lot of passes for him. Now, I think there will probably be, I don't know, maybe 7-8 plays a game where he'll have an option. Whether he keeps it or not, that'll be up to him. But I don't think it'll be a super run heavy offense from Trey. I think the offense will still be run heavy, but not a lot of designed runs for him per se.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing, I feel like, man, the other guy was right. We got to stop with this Kittle slander, man, because we need Kittle right now to really be Trey Lance's best friend right now. Like, if we really want him to thrive, we need to have a really nice tight end that can jump up and catch the ball. If something ends up happening, and so I really feel like Kittle can just be one of Trey Lance's go-to, along with Ayuk, to really help catch on those outside routes and just run out of bounds real quick, and then we can maybe try to force a field goal if time's running down, things like that. I really feel like Kittle and Ayuk are really good. Are going to be really helpful with that because I don't know if Jimmy really used Ayuk the way he should have been used, man. It seemed to me like Nick Mullins was using Ayuk better than Jimmy, and I don't like Nick Mullins at all. So.
No. I mean, Nick Mullins is cool for what he was, right? But you're right. I mean, that's the one thing, right? And I was talking about it with an earlier caller of how they could have gone to Ayuk and he could have, I mean, he could have won him the game. But this offense is not predicated with Jimmy as the quarterback. It's not predicated for them to take advantage of one-on-one matchups. Do you remember the Miami game in 2020 where we had Brian Allen and Fitzpatrick just went to that side over and over? The 49ers never do that. They have a weakness and they never attack it. And I think that's due to Jimmy's limitations. I really do. If they have a quarterback that they feel like can make all the throws, they probably are going to attack that situation when they see a weakness or smell blood in the water, for sure.
Yeah, especially when you got those matchups with Ayuk, man. I really feel like Ayuk is going to be one of those guys. He's working with Trey Lance in the offseason already. You know, there's some rumors about him being in the doghouse because he wanted Trey Lance to play. So this dude, he sees what Trey Lance is about, and he's really trying to work with him, really extra tough, and trying to build some strong chemistry. And I think it's going to work out. I really think it's going to work out.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I do too. I think those two are going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I'm excited for it. I think year 3 is when you really see what a player is. Sometimes you get lucky. You get a Jamar Chase or something like that. But usually it's year 3 for players across any position in the league. And I think Ayuk's going to have a huge breakout year next year. I mean, Deebo we knew was good, but year 3, look what he turned into. And I expect that for Ayuk. I think he's going to do some big things next year. I really do.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you having me on. You know, so tell these people, man. Ayuk's gonna be that guy. You know, Kittle's gonna be his best friend over here on the field, and Deebo's gonna continue doing what he's doing. Appreciate what you having me on. You know, keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, keep calling it. We do this every Wednesday.
Got you. I'll be here.
Man. All right. Let me get to this super chat real quick. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you never miss an episode. Keith says, here's a super chat. Thanks for having me on. Bang, bang, Niner gang. I appreciate you, Keith. Thank you for coming on. This is for you guys to get your takes off. I do it all week long. And quite frankly, I need a little bit of a rest sometimes. So I love being able to do this for you guys. I love that you guys enjoy it. It's always my most viewed show of the week. And that tells me that you guys enjoy coming on and just having a platform. So I appreciate you guys for taking advantage of said platform. Let me get some love out to you for that. And then we'll get on to Mr. Eric Day. Eric.
Hey, what's up, Jesse?
What's up, man? I feel like I've missed you for a few weeks.
Yeah, I know. I've been holding back. You know, I wanted to give other people a chance to call in and voice their opinions.
No, I feel it, but I mean, I'm kind of low key blaming you for that loss, man. I feel like if you would have called in, we would.
I'm the optimist, man. I've been rooting for this team since they were 3-5.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. We needed the optimism, and you weren't here to bring it, so I'm kind of blaming you.
Oh well, okay, that's my fault. I'll try to do a better job next year. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
But so there's a couple things I want to go over tonight. I'll try to make sure I don't go over the 5-minute mark. I know you got a VIP in backstage waiting to get on. I don't want to take away from his time.
He left. So. You know what? He big timed me and he left, that sucker. I'm gonna get him on Twitter though.
Well, that's what VIPs do. They come and go. They go. They come and go as they please. You know, you can't you can't expect to put rules on a VIP. But so a couple things I want to go over, a little bit about the past, a little bit about the future. As far as this season, I think the evaluation of the season really depends on what time you're evaluating the team. I think when they were 3-5, if you said, hey, this team's going to go to the NFC Championship game and lose, you'd take that, 7 days a week at that point. Like, okay, that's great. That means not only do they make the playoffs, they're going to win some playoff games. So at that point, I think, most people would have been happy. Conversely, 5 minutes before kickoff of the NFC Championship game, when you knew that the Chiefs had already been knocked out, And all the 49ers had to do to win a championship this year was to beat two teams that they were combined 3-0 against this season. I think at that point it became a little more disappointing because at that point, I mean, I was looking at it like, man, the Chiefs got knocked out. Niners already beat the Bengals. They already beat the Rams twice. Like, this is really like possible. This really could happen this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, anytime you're up 10 points in the second half, you know, you'd like to be able to close out those kind of games. So I think, you know, it's a mix of disappointment and, you know, satisfaction. I'd say overall, probably more satisfied than anything. I don't think you can really complain about going to the NFC Championship game. So those are my thoughts on how this season played out. Just real quick, as far as McGlinchey, I noticed you were saying that you think you'd like to see them add another edge rusher to play opposite Bosa, which I agree. Yeah. I think if Bosa is drawing a lot of attention, everyone else gets single blocks, that's a good opportunity to get even more pass rush. So I agree with that. I also agree that I'd like to see them add a corner. I think some more corner depth would be good. And then another area I'd like to see some improvement is the right side of the offensive line. I think when you get a young quarterback, you want to give them weapons and you want to protect them. I think they already got the weapons. Now I want to see them solidify the offensive line a little bit more, make sure that Trey Lance has time in the pocket where he's not running for his life after, 2 seconds every snap.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But here's what could throw a monkey wrench into this whole thing is if Mac retires, then all of a sudden that becomes like the position of need. So we'll see. Hopefully
McGlinchey might retire.
No, Alex Mack.
Oh, Alex Mack. Yeah, absolutely. Well, but see, that's what I'm wondering about McGlinchey. I know everyone says that playing tackle, guard, and center are completely different. You can't really transition from one to another. But I'm just wondering, McGlinchey, I mean, his strength is in run blocking. His weakness is in pass protection. Like, why? I mean, if you're going to, the way it's going right now with McGlinchey, I don't think he's a long-term answer. So what do you have to lose? Why not at least try moving McGlinchey inside where, be a little, play to his strengths. He's good at run blocking. So move him inside, let him do what he's good at. And then if you need to pass block on the inside, you can get a little extra help. You can double team people, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the only problem with McGlinchey, and I'm not the O-line expert, but I would say that maybe he's probably just a little too tall for that position. I think you need a lower center of gravity probably to play guard.
Just can't get the leverage.
Yeah, that would be my concern.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I wanted to go over was about the future of the team. I was thinking about it the other day. So, all right. So, like with Pokemon, right? How like Pokemon, and this is going to pertain to the 49ers. So just bear with me for a second.
Listen, how Pokemon, I used your story or your Trent Williams thing for a week. So go ahead, man. If this is as good as I think it's going to be, I'm along for the ride.
All right. Well, I hope so. I mean, it's kind of hard to top that one, but so, all right. So, Pokemon, right? They start off as one, but then they evolve into something even stronger, right?
Okay.
Then, so there's 3 evolutions of a Pokemon. Then they evolve into the 3rd form, which is the strongest. And that's the one that goes up and just dominates, right? So I was thinking with the 49ers, right? They're kind of like Pokemon, where they started off when Kyle and John came in, they started off with the 1st form, which was the defense, right? They invested heavily in the defense. 4 straight years, they drafted defensive linemen in the 1st round. You draft Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw. They signed Richard Sherman as a free agent. He's not there anymore, but still. So the first step in the process was building up the defense, which they've done. That was form 1 of the evolution. Second stage of the evolution was the skill positions. You draft Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell. Hopefully Mosier can come back next year. So that seemed to take the team to an even another level because now you got guys on the outside that can make plays after the catch. But I don't think this team is done evolving. I think there's a 3rd form. This team is going to reach their final evolution with Trey Lance. I think that's the final form. That's the piece that puts everything together. Because look at what Jimmy's been doing. You give him a top 10 defense. You give him, top 10 skill position players, and he can do all right. But he's not going to go out and win you the game. And that's the problem when you get to a game like the NFC Championship game they just lost. At some point, you're looking around and you're like, man, if the quarterback could get a drive that ends in a touchdown right now, that would be really useful. And it never really seemed to happen under Jimmy. So I think that's the next step in the evolution of the team is that Trey Lance doesn't really need to be a top 3, top 5 quarterback. If he can just be top 10, with the defense and the skill position, I think overall that'll make this team a perennial Super Bowl contender.
I like it. Somebody in the chat said, I don't know much about Pokemon other than my kids collected them like real briefly. But he says Trey Lance equals Charmander. He'll become Charizard in a few years.
Well, that's a good analogy. Charmander is a fire type, so that makes sense. Trey Lance is out there spitting fire just like Charmander.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Hey, you always come with something different, and I appreciate the hell out of that. I don't think I'll be using this one because I can't speak to it as well as you. I don't understand it as much as you, but I appreciate it.
That's all right.
All right, Eric. I appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks for taking my call. Have a good night.
All right, later. Nah, man, he had the best Trent Williams take I've probably ever heard, man. This dude, that Trent Williams take was great. He lost me on this one just because I don't know Pokemon. So apologize. Bay, I'm coming to you. I got one more, and then I'm coming to you. Just giving you a heads up. I'm coming to EMA Beats. He fell out. Looks like he's back in. Let's see if we can get to him real quick.
It wasn't plugged in the back.
Hey, what's going on, man? EMA Beats.
On this one, just because I don't know Pokemon, so apologize.
Dude, I'm getting feedback. I think you might have if you're calling in on your phone, EMA Beats. I think you might also have the YouTube playing. So stop playing the YouTube video real quick. And then let's see if we can get rid of that feedback. All right. I'll try to come back to you in just a second. Hey, Eric, no problem, man. You can call in anytime, of course. Pikachu. Twisted says catch them all. Hey, they're enjoying it at least. They're definitely enjoying it. All right, EMA Beats. Let's try again, man. How you doing?
Yo, Jesse.
Yeah, what's going on, man? There we go. I got
Can you hear me?
I got you, yes.
Wow. I can't believe I can't hear nothing. I can't even hear you, champ. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. I can barely see you.
That's crazy. I can't hear.
Hold on. Go out and come back in. Go out and come back in. All right. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to kick him. I'm going to kick him. See if he comes back in. Bay, I'll just go to you real quick while he's trying to figure out his thing. What's going on, Bay? You're muted.
What's up, Jay?
What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm feeling all right, despite the tough loss to the Rams. But, there's a few points I want to hit on. And first off, Jay, it looked like the Rams, when you're playing Madden, looked like the Rams, not only were they stacking the box with 8 in the box, but they were run committing. Like you could see the linebackers just sucking up towards the left. Like,
they're pressing down on the stick
on the right analog. They're flicking right analog down. They were run committing, and so the counter to that, I'm thinking we need to pass the ball. Maybe like a quick play action. Like you don't even need to do this elaborate play action. Just a quick sell, and we got to hit something right behind that. But you know what, Jay?
First down. I tweeted it out like right at halftime or right in the beginning of third quarter. I'm like, at what point are they? I figured, okay, this final drive, this is when they're going to go play action, or the second to last drive. I was like, they're going to go play action on this first down. They just never did it. It blew my mind, man. It was so obvious what they were doing the whole game.
I understand you don't want to abandon the run, but at a certain point, you have to adjust, all right? Our backs, and I'm talking about Eli, Deebo, and Juice had a carry. They average 2.4 yards per carry, those backs. And that's not going to get it done. So I know you don't want to put everything on Jimmy's arm, but that's what needed to be done. We needed to make some more throws. We need to throw it on early downs. That's what I'm trying to get at, because that's where the Rams were anticipating run committing. And unfortunately, we didn't make the adjustment.
Anyway, and here's something that I want to say as well, though. A lot of people made the point that you cannot run play action if you're not running the ball. And I disagree, because I understand you can't normally do that within a game, but when you're the 49ers and you've ran all over this team twice already, and you're showing tendencies to continue to run the ball in this game, regardless of what's going on for a full half, I absolutely think you can go to play action. When those safeties are both 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, man, they had enough money built up in that bank that they could have cashed in at any point, and they chose not to. So I feel like they absolutely could have gone play action based off of what they had done in the past against this team.
I agree. Yeah, and they didn't do it. I'm going to get to point number 2, all right? And we talked a lot last offseason. I was telling you, Jay, I don't think Jimmy has any trade value.
Yes.
And I know now that feels like the unpopular opinion. But, Jay, I don't think he has any trade value. Or if it is, it's minimal, and there's work to be done, all right? The only way I could see a team trading us a third rounder is they would have to extend him and lower the cap per year, right? Because he's due $27 million next year. Contractually, Jay, he's between Russell Wilson and Matt Stafford, money-wise. He's not up to that level. He's not worth $27 million. So you think a GM is gonna say, you know what? Yeah, I want some of Jimmy. That's gonna get the job done. No, that's gonna put your ass on the hot seat.
Okay. All right. So let's talk through this, because you did say this last offseason, and I was actually really with you last offseason. I thought they had some value. I didn't think it was like people were talking second round, first round, whatever. I was like, no, there's no way. I thought maybe fifth last year. But you said nothing. They ended up not trading him. Does that mean they had no value? Probably. So this situation right here, when you say no value, what exactly do you mean? You mean literally nothing? Like they can't trade him at all, or like a 6? Like, what are you thinking?
No, nothing better. A 3 at the best, but I don't even think we get a 3. Really, okay. I don't think we're going to get anything for him, because the team's going to have to extend him and lower the per cap year. You don't want Jimmy for 1 year, $27 million. I would think a GM, if they did want to do it, they would extend it, maybe do like a 3-year, $60 million overall. So they drop it down to like 20 per. I think that's more feasible. But even then, I'm telling you, I wish your team good luck, dude. We just had weapons all over the place, a loaded defense, great offensive mind, and we couldn't get it done. So if you want to give it a shot, if someone out there wants to do it, go at it.
Ricky Williams in the chat. Shout out to Ricky Williams. Says, I think we can get some top ramen without the seasoning for Jimmy. Hey, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to throw this out at you, and you tell me what you think. So, and we talked about this on Twitter, but I want to explain it now that you're here, because it's been about a month. So when you trade a pick, a future pick, like let's say it's a third, right? If I'm trading for a future third, that equates to like a 4th rounder this year. A future pick is always 1 round behind, okay?
Correct.
So here's my thought process. I think they can trade Jimmy for a future 4th that could, much like the Carson Wentz deal that could escalate to a 1st, that could escalate to a 3rd, depending on how many games he plays or stats, however they want to put that into the trade. So it's a future 4th, which is essentially a 5th, but it could escalate to a 3rd, a future 3rd, which is essentially a 4th. What do you think about that? You think I'm off?
No. You know what? If he does get traded, it's going to be for something like that. And I know Mike Miller, he was shouting me out on Facebook. I appreciate that, Mike, but I think he was crazy for saying we get a 1st round pick for him. I don't think that's going to happen. But what you just evaluated right there, I could see that's feasible and that's reasonable. I'm just kind of all in with he has no trade value, just because I don't think he's worth the $27 million, and I'm thinking GMs might see that, but I could be wrong. And Jay, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we get a 1st round pick for the guy.
Of course.
This is just what I'm thinking. If I was a GM, I would not want to put my hat into the Jimmy G Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, and I think that there's a lot of logic there. The only thing that gives me a room for pause on this whole thinking is that there just is so much demand for a starting level quarterback right now. I mean, now that Tom's retired, that's a whole nother team right there. So you've only got a couple quarterbacks that are going to move. Maybe Deshaun Watson can't even play this year. he can't play this year, that demand goes up even more, right?
True.
So let's say he can play. Let's say he goes to, I don't know, Washington. We'll just throw Washington out there. Well, you still have at least 4 teams that probably think they're competitive that need a quarterback. And are you going to get it out of this draft? Probably not. And if you do, they're going to have to develop. So you're blowing a whole nother year. So if I'm the Steelers, if I'm the Saints, if I'm the Panthers, Denver, Washington, those teams, maybe I'm willing to give up a third this year or a future second or something. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm just leaning the other way.
I agree with
Jay,
you.
I got one last point I want to make before I get out of here, if it's all right with you.
Yeah,
and it's the big story. I think we're missing the big story. We all know this Brian Flores thing's going down.
Yeah.
But the big story is 2 coaches came out, Hugh Jackson and Brian Flores, and said the owners either tried to pay them or did pay them, in Hugh Jackson's case, to lose games. I mean, that is just disgusting and corrupt, in my opinion. And I feel like it hasn't been, that part obviously it hasn't been validated. First of all, we need to make sure that that is accurate. But that's what 2 coaches have said this week, within the last few days. And to me, that's shocking. It's appalling, right? And I know it's apples to oranges, but I'm looking at Pete Rose, right? Pete Rose got this whole lifetime ban, no Hall of Fame, right? He's just X'd out of baseball, right? And this guy was a manager who bet on his team to win. I mean, that doesn't – the owners paying the head coach to lose? I mean, that's crazy. And I think those NFL owners, they need to be looked at stuff like that. This needs to be checked out. You know what I mean? And if it's true, I don't think they can own the team anymore.
I think it's true. I do think it's true. And I'll tell you this right now. If I bet on those games, if I'm a huge big time bettor and I find out that
that's what I'm saying,
I'm suing the shit out of somebody. I am suing the shit out of somebody because you bet on a game that was rigged for you to never have a chance. Yes, I am suing somebody for sure. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into this. This once this snowball starts building up steam, it could go real bad for the league. I'm curious to see how it plays out. And you're right, it is being swept under the rug a little bit, obviously, with the race thing involved.
All these teams, I mean,
huge.
all these, ESPN, all these guys make so much money off the NFL. I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL's saying like, hey, you know what? Don't blow this up. Don't even talk about it. All right. We need to downplay this. I wouldn't doubt that stuff goes on. And that's where it's up to, YouTubers like yourself. I'm not quite there yet, but you and Grant and some other folks should talk about this and bring it to light, because I think national media, like you said, is sweeping it under the rug.
Of course they are. They get paid way too much money, man. Way too much money. You're right about that. Yep.
Hey, Jay, but I'll get out of here. I'd like to shout out to the audience and let them know, hey, the Trey Lance, the 2 games against the Cardinals and against the Texans, I cut up all his throws and runs.
Perfect. I love this.
I mean, those are my most watched videos on YouTube. That's Bay Area Baller 18 on YouTube. So if you want to check out the future, Trey Lance is on there.
I love it. Yeah, go subscribe to Bay Area Baller 18. He puts out good content, and he's the one guy in the offseason that was real big on Arden Key. He was ahead of the curve there. And he just always brings hella energy. I mean, this is probably the most subdued I've probably ever heard him, and he still brought crazy energy. Bay, I appreciate you. We'll talk, man. I appreciate it. We got to get together for a show at some point this offseason as well.
Oh, yeah, will do. Right on, Jay. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Oh, look at Mr. VIP's back. This guy here. Jeez. This guy. Oh, no, it's my turn, so I'm going to get in here. God, Mr. Big Timer over here. What's up with
you? Yes, sir. I'm back.
Golly, this guy. What's up, man? This isn't Twitter Spaces. What you got for me? Keep it somewhat clean, all right?
So, of course. For the children listening, for everybody around the world. No, I'm just stopping by just so I can say that I stopped by and supported my man Jesse. So no, just some good, just some good dialogue going on between everybody. I think one thing that someone was talking about, like Kyle Shanahan and just his mental lapse in like the fourth quarter, and then one big lapse that they had was, obviously it was the first possession when we could have either kicked a field goal or scored a touchdown to get ahead in the game. They had that delay of game that was crucial. It was like such a pivotal point in the game, and again, it was just like kind of showing that like maybe the moment was too big for Kyle. And I think Kyle's grown as a coach. I mean, you can hear it, the locker room talk. They saying that, a lot of questions when we were 3-5 is the leadership, aspect of it all. And I think Kyle has kind of evolved to be a little bit better, but again, he's still showing flashes in the pan of, 28-3 leads in the Super Bowl in Miami. And it just, again, it was another big moment for him. And how do you not call a timeout there? Or how do you not get Jimmy Garoppolo to play? Like, Jimmy himself should know we're in a 2-minute drill, man. We need to score. Everybody prizes this guy on, he's a great 2-minute. Oh, if we can have 2-minute drills every game, Jimmy would be great. And they couldn't get to the line, and they take a delayed game. And I think that was pivotal because 2nd and 15, especially with a quarterback who's inept, who can't throw big throws and who needs a lot of yak and who needs to work short intermediate passes in, is a death sentence. And I think one of the biggest things, that the reason why we lost that game was, one, Kyle didn't call the timeout, and two, Jimmy Garoppolo just didn't hurry his team to the fucking line. I mean, to the line. Sorry.
No, you're good. He didn't hurry his. You can drop one every once in a while, just
Yeah, right. He didn't hurry him to the line, and it was infuriating. And I keep thinking of that, like maybe that could have been a moment, a big key moment in the game, a pivotal moment in the game that could have cost us our season, man. Ultimately. And again, it just shows, like, I love Kyle. Like, me, I'm a Shanahan stan, only Shans, blah, 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 whatever you want to call it. I am. But at some point, like I've always said this, the X's and O's sometimes just doesn't outweigh the bad decision making that he has a track record of showing. And, I think, hopefully with him and Trey, they'll take the league by storm. And, we've seen Andy Reid, in big games have that same mental lapses, and he finally was able to get his Super Bowl. So I'm hoping that's with the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan, but if it's with a different team, because he has to use this team of, his first ever time being a head coach as a learning curve, then so be it. But that's just one of my little rants. I just, I feel like I love Kyle, but sometimes, man, again, like, history is doomed to repeat itself, and it did. I just felt like if we called a timeout, if we, Jimmy Garoppolo hurried up to the line, or they knew what play they were going to call beforehand, and they got it out quick enough to communicate with the quarterback, so that way we can have a set line and be ready to call the play. I don't know, man. I just thought that was such a pivotal point.
Well, first of all, I agree with you 100%. But here's what seems to be a lost art. I remember growing up and watching quarterbacks call timeouts when the play clock was running out. He knew the play clock was running out. I mean, it's definitely on Kyle as well. He's not absolved of any of this blame. But from Jimmy's standpoint, if you're sitting there freaking out, clapping your hands, the clock's running out. Why don't you just call the timeout, my guy? Like, your coach obviously is not getting over there. If you just throw up the timeout, every ref sees you. They're calling a timeout. Play's dead. It's your last game anyways. If you think that's the right thing to do, who cares what Kyle tells you in the huddle? What's he going to do? Pull you on a 2-minute drive in the NFC Championship? You got one game left anyways. Who cares? Like, if you think it's the right thing to do, do it. I don't understand his clock management, Kyle's clock management at times were just completely inept. And it happened in the Green Bay game, snapping the ball on a running clock with however much time left in the game. You have 14 seconds left on the play clock, and you snap the ball right there when you don't need time. You've got plenty of it. You snap the ball, score a touchdown, and you give 37 seconds left on the clock. Like, those things happened a lot. And again, it's definitely on Kyle. He's the leader. But as a quarterback, if you're aware of these things, man, make a call, make a judgment call. Like, that's what you're in there to do.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree. And, I blame them both. I think they both equally share the blame. I mean, obviously, quarterback and coach too. Like if Kyle's not near the line judge, obviously, then Jimmy Garoppolo should take upon himself. But even Jimmy Garoppolo knows himself, like, hey man, I can't really sling this thing out there like that. So 2nd and 15 is gonna be very different, detrimental to us. We need to call this timeout to be still stay in a 2nd and 10 and be somewhat relevant in the chains. And then we ended up punting just to save that timeout, and ultimately it was for naught, right? Like I think we still had 2 timeouts before we threw that interception, and and then there goes our season down the drain. So.
Yeah, you're 100% right, man. And I appreciate that coming from a guy that I know you support Kyle way more than I ever have. And the fact that you're able to admit that.
We'll get you there, Jesse. We'll get you to support Kyle like me.
Here's the thing is, even when I was on the, like, hey, they got to fire him. Even when I said that earlier in the year, I also said I knew they weren't going to fire him, and that I know it's best long-term for this team and for Trey if Kyle figures it out. So I'm rooting for him. I want him to figure it out. I was so excited when they hired him. I definitely think it was the right hire. I love what he's brought to the team, but he's got to figure out these big game moments. He absolutely has to.
All right, buddy. Well, that's it for me. I love the show. Glad I got to call in. And I appreciate you, Jesse, my guy. See you on Twitter, brother.
All right, man. Later. All right. We're going to go to Jimmy, then Edgardo, and then George, and we're going to wrap it up with those 3. Let's go. What's up, Jimmy? Make sure you keep it PG, my guy, just like last time.
When do I not, man? What are you talking about?
You're a little loose with it, my guy.
Hey,
I'm just
man,
being real
what
with
happened, bro? Last week we were all good. Oh, dude. And we said, though, man, straight up, they were good. They weren't great. And, it showed up. Jimmy G's good. He's not great. He's played in those games. He's been on that field in those big games, but he hasn't made those plays in those big games. We actually, in fact, like we discussed, I think, on my first call, they blew those games. And when you want to talk about Pokemon, old Shanahan ain't going to be a Charizard. And I know you don't know a lot about Pokemon, but he ain't going to be a fucking he ain't going to be. I'm sorry.
See, that's what I'm saying. There it is.
I got you. But he's not going to be a Charger, man, or a Charizard, dude. Got me tripping on that. But yeah, man, I felt bad for you guys, man, because they had, again, Shanahan, dude, doing the Shanahan thing. And another big lead. They did that in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. They had the lead. They all went and took a little Photoshop picture and a little dance and blew the lead against the fucking against the Chiefs. And no, I apologize, man. I was on hold longer than I was in there for a while. So, I was sitting for a minute. But I'm being real with you, brother. I apologize to the listener. I won't do it again, man. But
well, I want to make sure everybody understands. So he keeps saying us. Jimmy's actually a Bronco fan. So
well, keep going.
You what?
No, I just wanted to get in my love for what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday.
Oh yeah, dude, you had to have been celebrating that one.
The GOAT. If that is the GOAT, then I don't want to go to that zoo. All right, you know what I'm saying? That is not the kind of GOAT I want to see. A real GOAT, one with horns or whatever they got. Because, dude, you don't put up 3 points in the second half and in overtime at home.
Yeah.
You don't play 4 AFC championships at home and only get 1 Super Bowl if you are the GOAT. I apologize, but all right, but keep going about your.
No, I think here's the thing. I feel like they definitely crowned Mahomes too early. I'll give you an example. So I've got a group thread with a couple of my boys from back home. One of them throws out in the group thread, if this was when they're up 21-3, if Patrick Mahomes wins a Super Bowl this year, is he a Hall of Famer if he retires tomorrow? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. It's way too early for that. You got to put together at least 7 years in the NFL before you're a Hall of Famer. So it's that type of stuff right there. They crown Mahomes way too early.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah.
Well, no, brother, I don't mean to cut you off. I could talk about that game all day, man, because it's a bigger picture to me than that. It's Andy Reid being 3-6 in championship football games, and I think he's played most of those at home. I know he lost a few at the Vet with the Eagles, and then he's lost now 2 at Arrowhead. But yeah, getting to your Niners, man, Shanahan. that guy, that poor. So now what? Are you stuck with him for a few more years? I mean, what the hell? What do you do? Did he save face to like be cool enough now? So now he gets by for a few years because his ability to draft talent is there. He has put together a really good competitive team, and I'll be honest with Deebo and Kittle. You guys have those two pieces. I'm not saying it's not Hill and Kelsey. Of course, they're going to be, watching just like everybody else next weekend. But no, but it's not them. It's like, dude, but they still have that ability to, they have those two guys. And I think if you have like one of your callers said, having that tight end, having Kittle there for Lance, will be a bet. If Lance can be that guy and running that play action style play, they have the guy, I believe was the dude from the Ravens, right? So he took over, and it's like, that's kind of what they did to be successful, the offensive coordinator. So I don't know, man. If that's going to be they have those pieces in place. I just don't think Shanahan's a guy, and I think he's proven it in big games.
And we'll see. And he can always get around it because Andy Reid was the same, right? Until he wasn't. But he's kind of reverted back into it. So who knows? But real quick, chat. If I've got any of my mods in here, make sure you guys are on high alert. It sounds like there's some craziness going on. I was able to delete one guy, but make sure you guys are on high alert and get rid of these bums when they come in with their racist malarkey. Anyways,
my bad.
Yeah, but Jimmy, I agree. And you are until you aren't. And right now, what he's proven with two different quarterbacks, two different franchises, and really three different teams, that right there is kind of proof in the pudding. If you have three chances at it, and all three chances you blow it the same way, at some point, that's the truth of who you are. So can he turn it around? Absolutely. It doesn't mean that he'll always be that, but for right now, that's who he is until he proves that he's not. So I'm with you.
And before I get out of here, because I know I've been pushing the time limit here, but dude, I'll be real with you, man. Like if they put in a guy, if you add a good quarterback to that game, he might be the difference maker, man. Because at the beginning of the game, they had that pick in the red zone on the Rams when they were driving early in the game, and they got a pick to turn them over. Dude, the defense once again, like against when they played Rodgers in the divisional round, dude, they kept him in the game, man. And it was just like Garoppolo's never been the guy to be that difference maker, dude. He's just been there. But again, Deebo's had to be the guy, and it's like, dude, if you have to have your, receiver / running back / god / popcorn vendor / everything that he does. I think he actually, did you hear? I'm pretty sure he makes the equipment before they all put it on too. He's been doing that lately. He made the helmet for Garoppolo and all that. Yeah. So he's really doing it all for him. And I think, but I think if you have those pieces in place, you just got to get a quarterback there. And I don't think Jimmy G is that dude, man.
No, he's not. But that's why Trey Lance is here. And we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. Right on, man. Well, thanks for having me. Cheers to your season. I apologize that it had to end like that, but
nah, it is what it is, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with us, man.
And I'll say this politely: F Stan Kroenke. All right, F Stan Kroenke. All right.
There you go. There you go.
Man. Cheers, my man. Beers Later, and bets, man. Beers and bets. We'll talk.
Beers and bets. They get wild over there. Go check them out.
My man. Later.
All right, later. Oh man, that dude cracks me up. Kyle is a great coach. This is coming from a Rams fan, freaking genius. Hey, I'm not questioning if he's all right, here I'm questioning some things. Let me lay this out for you. I think Kyle is a top-notch play designer. Arguably the best play designer in the league. No question about it. I think he's a top-tier play caller. I think he has gaffes that maybe hold him from being the top, but he's right there. Right? If he's not number one, he's right there. But being a coach, there's so much more, man. And there's attention to detail that you need to have. He's not just the offensive coordinator. If he's the offensive coordinator, best one in the league. But as a head coach, his decision-making and pressure moments holds him back a little bit. Not managing the clock the right way holds him back a little bit. Maybe making some weird personnel decisions, not having Deebo in crucial downs holds him back a bit. So I think he's a very good coach, right? And in order to replace Kyle, you have to have a better option. Right now, I don't know who that better option is. Guys like Brian Daboll and Bieniemy, I personally am not a fan of either one of those guys because they don't commit to the running game enough. But for now, it just kind of is what it is. So is he perfect? No, absolutely not. But he is very good. He needs to get better. So anyways, all right. I'm going to go to Edgardo and then George. And Edgardo, I need you in the chat right now. It's going
That's what
crazy
I'm
in there.
saying. I step out and these trolls start acting up.
Gosh, it's crazy.
Hey, I'm just tapping and say what's up. Take this L together.
Yeah, man. How long did it take you to get over it?
I'm not gonna lie, it took me overnight, and then I woke up ecstatic that we were gonna get rid of Jimmy.
Yeah. You woke up all excited. I feel it. I feel it.
It was definitely the next day. I was like, "Oh, that means we get rid of Jimmy." Yes, because if we won the Super Bowl, I mean, there was a great chance we bring Jimmy back.
Yes, but it would have been worth it, though, right? Like, let's be honest.
I mean, we got a ring.
It would have been worth it.
I want to ask, would you bring in the Honey Badger? Is that someone you would try to go after?
I mean, if they can afford him.
Yeah.
No question.
I mean, I know KC is going to go through it with the cap, too, so they might have to let him go.
Yeah, I think he might. I think he might end up having to be let go because that salary cap for Patrick Mahomes is going to get really, really high.
Yeah, skyrockets
really high.
Almost 30 mil.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right about that. I don't know if we'll be able to afford him, but just watching Kansas City get worse is always a win. Like, that's a team that I want no part of. So I'm with it.
And another thing, would you rather trade Jimmy for a player or just get the picks?
I'm open to either. I really am. If there's some sort of proven player, I'm definitely with it. And that's, you know what? That's a great point you bring up because that's not something anybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about picks and what he's worth. Nobody's talking about players. I think that's a really, really good point that you bring up. Maybe there's a guy making a little bit too much money on another team. They're ready to move on from him, but he fits a need for the 49ers.
Yeah.
That could be something they could work out. That's a really, really good point. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. The last thing I gotta say is Trey area. You know what it is.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, thanks for being a mod for me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. You have a good one.
You too.
Later. Hey, Bay, you're right. He did run more towards the end, but look at what happened in that AFC Championship game. They went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs and were unable to get it done. They could have ran more in that game. They absolutely could have ran more in that game. And when it mattered most, he reverted back to relying heavily on Josh Allen, which is fine. Josh Allen, to me, is probably the best quarterback in the NFL. It's him or Mahomes. But, dude, you got to be able to take the ball out of that explosive offense because it's not just Mahomes on the other side. It's Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and everything they bring. So I felt like that was a missed opportunity. Adrian wants to know what's in the Patreon. First of all, the Patreon link is down in the description. Cup of coffee a month is all it is to join. So during the regular season, I'll do film breakdown of the games, usually target a specific player and talk about him. But during the off season, I'm going to be targeting college players and prospects at positions of need. So by the time the draft comes around, whoever stuck with me through the Patreon will be very, very educated on what's available, who's out there, why they're good, maybe why there's some misses there. So that's the plan for the off season. And, that's what we're going to roll with. So I appreciate it, man. All right, George, what's going on?
What's up, Jesse?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm not doing that well. My grandfather died, but I'm at home. I'm at home.
I know. I noticed you weren't at work.
That's why I didn't go. Yeah. So it's been pretty tough. It's all right though. But the thing I got to say is, I wish Jimmy G the best, and all Jimmy G fans, I wish y'all the best too. Because there is some very racist Jimmy G fans out there that's pretty much trying to chew the kid out already. And I've been hearing on social media, on on Instagram, on Facebook that they don't want a black quarterback. Well, you got a black quarterback. I'm sorry, but the man is not even fully black, and even Jimmy G is not fully white. He's Mexican. He's half Italian. So I mean, like, he's not fully white. So I mean, you guys are rooting for a quarterback that's also not fully white. So I mean, like, that's the main thing I got to say. But let's get off that subject. I'm just happy that Jimmy G took us out of the dark times. He brought us into the light. That's the one thing I could say thank you for. He did a lot for the franchise, but he just wasn't the guy. And I'm glad Kyle and John see that now and is trying to move on and give the kid a shot, man. Like, we need to give him a shot. Don't just stick behind one thing. Just give the man a shot. What do you think about that?
No, man, I'm with you. I'm trying to keep up on the chat. I think there might be some misrepresentation of what you said. Basically, he's not saying that everybody that supports Jimmy is racist. That's not it at all. But he is.
Oh no,
right.
I'm not saying that.
On social media, man, it does get bad. I'll tell you right now. I get people in my DMs. I get people on Twitter all the time, Facebook, that are extremely racist and do not want to move on from Jimmy because of that. I know that we in here don't give a crap about any of that, and that's what I love about
I don't care about that.
Yeah, but there are some people out there, man, and it's really crappy to see. So, yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, well, actually, fortunately, they're not in here. So,
thank
and
you,
the
guys.
ones that are,
Like,
we're getting rid of them. So,
yeah, and it's very bad too. Like, the stuff they say towards a 20-year-old, it's a 21-year-old quarterback is so bad.
Yep.
Like, they're already calling him trash, saying that they even be going after his family too. I'm like, what? Are y'all serious? Y'all don't even know the kid. Y'all haven't even seen him in a multiple game stretch. Y'all haven't even given him a shot to even see if he is better than Jimmy. And I'm saying yes, he is better than Jimmy in every single way. He can throw the ball deep. He can stretch the field. He can move. He can avoid hits. He can do big things that Jimmy G is just not in his skill set. And to go after the man family too, like, you don't even know him. How can you go after Trey's family? You don't even know nothing about him, and you want to just attack him like that. Like, I'm a Trey Lance fan. I was even I was originally a Jimmy G fan. But then when I started hearing all these racist stuff towards different other quarterbacks from Jimmy G fans, I'm like, yeah, I gotta turn away. Like, that's just messed up. Like, you can't just. I know you guys have an affection for that quarterback, but you can't take it that far to also chew out somebody that you have not seen and attack the man family too. It's kind of bad. That's the one thing that rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, it is. It is bad, man. And I think, and not even when race is involved. Like, let's talk about when race isn't involved. Like what happened to Raheem Mostert. The fans attacking him for getting injured or attacking his family. It's like, man,
at the end of the day, it's too far.
Here's the deal. At the end of the day, this is a game, and this is a game that you're not involved in. So why do you even care?
Why you care? Yes.
Like, why do you care that much? So I don't know, man. This is
it's pretty dark.
It's wild. It's very dark. It's dark. But let's look at the
dark
positives,
people in the world, man.
There is. But let's look at some of the positives, man. Trey is our quarterback. We got a bright future. It sucks that we lost in the NFC Championship, especially because I felt like we could have won it, but they didn't. And at the end of the day, we have a bright future to look forward to. Very, very excited about that, and can't wait for it, man.
Hey, my friend is a Rams fan, and he called me. He started rubbing it in. I'm like, yeah, but you guys got to see us next year, and this time we won't have no handicap. This time you guys will be exposed in every single way, because it'll be very hard to stop our offense, and our defense is great, and it's gonna get better. So I mean, like, Rams fans are gonna they're happy now. Yeah, be happy. But you also gotta worry about Joe Burrow that just took down Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and they
You
got a
gotta
lot
worry
of
about
money.
Joe Budden. Yeah, like come on, man. Y'all gotta realize that y'all are happy right now. Y'all think y'all gonna walk into that Super Bowl and dominate the Bengals. You got something going on. Like you,
Yeah.
I watched that game. I'm like the Chiefs was up 21-3, and I didn't see no quit in that man's eyes. That is some clutch stuff. I was looking at Joe Burrow. That man has zero quit. He was down 21-3. He's like, I can come back. That's the scariest thing to have as a quarterback. If you that confident that you can come back from any deficit, and your teammates see you that you that confident, that you can come back from any deficit, that make you a great quarterback. Rams fan, y'all can be happy, but don't be too happy now. Like you gotta understand, you're going up against a dog, a beast of a quarterback. He ain't no scrub. He ain't no walkthrough. You ain't gonna walk through Joe Burrow like it's that easy. We couldn't walk through Joe Burrow that well. We struggle with him, and we got a better defense than y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We barely beat Joe Burrow. We barely beat him. That's why I later had to tell my friend, you gotta pump the brakes. You gotta be calm. Like the road ain't over yet. You beat us, that's great. Go beat the Bengals.
Yep.
They're gonna be a hard task.
It
They
is,
ain't gonna be no
but
walkthrough.
they give up a lot of sacks, man. I'm curious. We'll talk about it
They
next
do.
week. I want to get everybody's take on that game. Obviously, it's not us, but I still want everybody's take on that game. It'll still be Super Bowl week. I know most of us are going to be watching, so curious to see how people think that game plays out.
Then we sack him a lot too, and we barely beat them.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we sacked him a lot. We hit him.
He got
we
nine.
Barely beat
he got
them.
sacked 9 times against Tennessee and still won. So
that's what
who knows, man?
This man have no quit in him. Like the Rams defensive line is gonna get their own. I'm not saying they're not gonna get their own.
Yep.
But Matthew Stafford does make mistakes. He make mistake against a subpar corner in us. We got bad corners. The Bengals got better corners than us. Their corners, they even got better safety than us. They even got star safeties in the back than us. They got 2 of them. So I mean, like, and they got 2 star safeties, and they got some better corners, tall, lengthy corners that can go up against Odell and Cooper Kupp. The one person that's going to be able to get his own anytime he wants to is Cooper Kupp. Odell may struggle against those lengthy corners that are able to stretch out and deflect the balls and make some big plays. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say. I'm not going to waste your time, Jesse.
You're good,
take
man.
care, man.
Hey,
I'm about to go back to my wallowing, man.
For sure.
You know,
Hey, listen, thoughts and prayers are with you, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
George. All right,
take care. Go Niners, bro. Go
yes,
Niners,
sir.
man. Bright
yes,
future,
sir.
baby.
Yes,
take care,
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir. All right, let's end it with Pinor. We got Pinor. He's always bringing the heat. I'm gonna ask him how he's doing. He's gonna say, "I'm doing average." What's up, Pinor? How you doing?
Actually, I'm doing above average, man.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm moving out of my first apartment that I got after high school, so pretty good, man. We're getting a house, so everything's looking good for me, and yeah, just trying to just move up a level, man. Trying to get on your guys' level. You said you own like multiple cars and everything, yeah.
Yeah, but
So
what are you like? What Pinor? Are you 19, 20? How old are you?
I'm not 19 or 20.
How old are you?
Man.
Okay, you don't have to tell me. I feel like you're a lot younger than me, though. I'm 38. You're definitely younger.
I'm a
than
lot
me.
younger. Yeah. but you know, just know that I'm doing above average right now, and everything's good. It just you know, at a certain point when football's over, you have to focus on yourself and just elevate. You know. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm doing.
Young
I'm
Montana
doing
said that
man.
you're 47.
Oh, hey, whatever it is, man. Whatever it is, I don't mind. My government name's not out there, and my age ain't out there, so I'm good.
I
keep it separate.
I got you.
You know, one thing I wanted to ask you, because I hear a lot of people complain about Kyle blowing leads, and which is true. Not to say that it isn't. You know, it's common to see that at this point. But do you feel like going forward that? How do I put this? Do you feel like going forward, do you think Trey Lance can help mitigate those kinds of things? Do you think it could get Kyle over the hump and stop that negative narrative that's going around about Kyle Shanahan?
Hold on a second. Am I blurry? Yeah, I don't know. Am I blurry to anybody else? I didn't think I was blurry. You guys let me know. But yeah, I think so. Just because I feel like a dynamic quarterback can cover for a lot of issues, right? Like let's think about it. You look at teams that aren't that great, that have a lot of holes. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs. That team has a lot of holes. They were able to win a Super Bowl. They're able to stay competitive and constantly in AFC championships. You look at the Rams. I mean, good team, but they're very top heavy. Before they had Goff, they weren't able to do these things. And now all of a sudden, Stafford's covering up for these clear misses on that team. So, yeah, man, if Trey Lance is as good as what some of us think he can be, for sure, yes, he can cover up for
Yeah,
some of that.
because the connection that I have with Kyle and McVay is I think personally McVay didn't have as great as the performance in the game against us. I think that there was some times where he made it bonehead decisions too, and I think that Matthew Stafford actually helped him out in that game to make him look a little bit better as a coach. And and I think
McVay was pressing, bro. McVay was pressing in that
yeah,
game big time.
yeah. So I looked at that and I'm just saying to myself, like, is Kyle the same thing where I think that Trey Lance can actually elevate, his not necessarily just his decision making, but execution too, because there's many plays that you can see on both sides that Lance would have probably hit passes that Jimmy didn't do. He didn't see many of the open receivers. So that's what I'm thinking in my head, because early in that, like the first drive, obviously the Kittle miss hurt us, and just stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, G Rod, all you got to do is you should be able to hit the three dots in the upper right hand corner and switch you've got to have it in like low definition or something. That's the only explanation. If everybody else says that it's good, you got to have it in a higher definition. So, but
And
yeah, man, I agree with you, Pinora. I think that that's a
yeah,
very good point. And but the problem is, I don't know how early that can happen. Like, can that happen this next year? Does it take a season before he's able to cover up for him? Does it
I have
take
my
8
theory.
games? You know what I mean? Like, what's
Yeah.
the answer? But if he's as good or eventually as good as what we think, yeah, absolutely. I mean, quarterback's the most important position. And we just saw it happen, man.
Mhm.
Let's be honest. The 49ers are the best team in the NFL. Top to bottom,
Yeah,
you look at that roster, take quarterbacks out of it, the best team. But quarterback is a great equalizer, and we saw them get
definitely.
equalized by a better quarterback on Sunday.
I agree with you, bro. I just think that, it just sucks that because I get it that we always bag on Jimmy, and the thing is about Jimmy, it's like the team is ready to win, but we don't have that piece that could get us over that hump. We're not even asking for that piece to be, Patrick Mahomes. We're just saying if you just executed and didn't make the mistakes that you make, we would probably get a trophy. If we had Matthew Stafford, we would get a trophy. But the problem is we didn't get him. There's a flip to that. We have Trey Lance, and in my opinion, the biggest question for me and Trey Lance going forward is how quickly can Trey Lance get before this team deteriorates in terms of health, in terms of salary, in terms of decision making on Kyle's end. We eventually need everything to come together at the perfect timing in order for us to get a Super Bowl, in my opinion. I'm going to be very patient with Trey personally because it's a lot better being patient with someone that actually can have progress rather than someone that never does and be an 8-year vet. So to me, and I'll be honest with you, Jesse, I'll never like Jimmy. I don't care how much people are sad for Jimmy, even though he's a 27. What is it? Yeah, he doesn't have 27 million, right? 27
Yeah,
or 26.
27 million this year. He's made over 100 million in his life.
Okay, so why are people so sad about Jimmy? What the heck is wrong with people? You guys have so soft heartstrings. This guy is a multi-millionaire who's mediocre
Yeah.
at his job. Trust me, people, there's way more sad things out there that you could be sad about. And in terms of like everything out there on how I'm feeling about like 49er and everything around like just the press and everything, right? I think that David Lombardi is the biggest joke that there ever is at covering the Niners. I never seen somebody that tries so hard to think that he's right about something And just because you're from Stanford doesn't mean anything. Like you think that those credentials makes it a good point for you to have? Like, no, dude. David Lombardi's a joke. Anybody that thinks that he's seriously a good reporter, like, dude, I feel sorry for you. And the thing is, at the end of the day, David Lombardi is going to have to experience greatness because that's what Trey Lance is going to be. I get it that you like Jimmy Garoppolo and many people respect Jimmy Garoppolo. At the end of the day, there's nothing that he can do or any Jimmy Stan out there that can do that's going to stop Trey Lance from being great. I believe in Trey Lance wholeheartedly. I believe a lot of people in your chat believe in Trey Lance. And I can't wait to see his progress. Every week we get to see someone that's going to make progress, not just as a player in terms of his mechanics, but also understanding the offense, executing the offense, learning what to do, what not to do. In the 2.5 games that we've seen him, he was already progressing faster than Jimmy ever did in 8 years. You know, why am I going to be sad? The Rams beat us at our weakest point. Not necessarily as a team, but that guy right there, Jimmy Garoppolo, is the one that you stopped. Aaron Donald is a great player, but make no mistake, the reason why you guys win is because that quarterback is on our team, and that's not going to be the case anymore going forward. And I'm just happy for the future, man. And thank you, Jesse, for having this channel, bro. I am so happy for people like you to have success in this field, man. Like, there's people that don't deserve it, in my opinion, and there's people that do. And I think that you do, and I think David Lombardi is a joke. And that's just how I feel about it.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I don't want to give him too much shine on this platform. I'm not a fan of his. Everybody knows that. So yeah, whatever. People can get my feelings about him on Twitter. So thanks, Pinor. I appreciate you, man. I did have one more call in, so I want to get to Jerry. Then I'm gonna shut this down because it's 12:30 over here.
And everybody and Jesse, have an average night.
You too, man. Later. Dick Tracy, here's the thing. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. And to say that he's going to be a bust or whatever, but why? You have to give us a why. Because based off of what I've seen, based off of the quarterback that I scouted coming into the draft and the quarterback that I saw play, I don't see any evidence of that. But if you do, more power to you. I just got to know why. What are you seeing that I'm not? So, all right, Jerry, we're going to end it with you ending it in class. What's going on?
Hey, what's good, Jesse? You hear me?
Yeah, I got you, man. You sound great, by the way.
Oh, great. Hey, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here. So as a young 49ers fan, I just had to say I didn't even care if we could win the NFC Championship because I thought this season ended up as such a fluke, and I thought we're gonna have a losing season for sure. So it's winning season anyways. But the fact that we lose to the Rams, not just just tough because it's traditional rivalry, but also because I have to trash talk the son of Les Snead in my class. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to brag about it, but it's just extra pressure on me, man. It's tough.
Listen, well, first of all, Les Snead's son's got to be hella rich. So the fact that he's got a win to hold over your head too, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Are you in college or are you in high school?
I'm in high school.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. Yeah, I was going to say you might want to drop that class if you're in college. Just forget about it. It's not that important.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny, dude. Was he talking hella trash to you too?
Yeah. Right. Oh man, he just talks about random stuff. Like he's just like, nah, the 49ers gonna lose. He was saying that all week, and I was tired of that. I needed that win, but it's all good, man.
I feel it. Yeah, man, that game was rough, man. It was definitely rough. Being that you're in high school, man, you've really only kind of experienced heartbreak, to be real. Like, you've just seen a lot of heartbreak. You haven't seen any of those Super Bowls.
No, I seen it in 2019, so.
Yeah, but I mean, win. You haven't seen a Super Bowl win. You haven't seen him hoist the Lombardi.
I can use that. So, Jesse, I got a question. So,
yeah,
what do you think? So, when some franchise things go down, somebody gonna get fired for things that they're responsible for. So, who should not get fired, but I say get most blame for on the just the loss to the Rams?
Ooh, man. Okay, so let me be clear about this before I tell you. I said that the Packers win was the ultimate team win,
Mm-hmm.
and that the Rams loss was the ultimate team loss.
Right.
But that being said, if I'm gonna place the most blame on someone, I got to go Kyle. I do. And the reason that I say that is because I feel like he tightened up in his play calls towards the end of the game. And I know that people want to put it on Jimmy. Trust me. What's up, Don? I've never actually seen you in my chat. Glad to see you here. I know you're a Lions fan. Hopefully you tap in with my guy, Rad. I know he does shows with Dosa Dion or whatever. He's my co-host. But anyways, good to see you in here, man. But yeah, I got to put it on Kyle because he did tense up. And also, if you're going to blame Jimmy, we got to remember that Jimmy not only was in this game because of Kyle, but they had multiple outs to move on from Jimmy and decided not to. They could have had Tom Brady. They chose to keep Jimmy. They could have scouted Patrick Mahomes and Watson. They chose not to do that. They could have kept Kaepernick. They chose not to do that. They could have played Trey this year, and they chose not to do that. So at the end of the day, if we want to blame Jimmy, then ultimately you got to blame Kyle, because if Jimmy holds Kyle back, Jimmy's not only Kyle's not the offensive coordinator. He's the head coach. So the head coach and the decision maker in Kyle held back the play calling of Kyle because Jimmy was in play. So I have to put it mostly on Kyle. I do.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan needs to watch this show for real.
And here's the thing, like I want to say this about Kyle is I've been harsh on him. I went real hard on him and said he should have been fired early in the year. But a lot of the reasons that I said that had nothing to do with being a play designer or even a play caller. I just thought that he had too many hands in the pot, and he's got a lot on his plate, a lot, especially for a first-time head coach. And when I look at it, I just felt like there was things that could be taken off of his plate. But I also thought some of his leadership stuff was there to question. But I do genuinely see progress in his leadership. I've seen him go out of his way to be more of a servant leader, and I appreciate that. So I think he'll get better. I think he'll improve in these moments. He just needs to do it one time. He does it one time, and we're celebrating him. So
yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see this season. He can really turn things around if Kyle does the right things.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Kyle with Trey, if Kyle's in his bag, it could be a long season for some of these teams. Let me tell you right now, it can get real pretty for us. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited for Trey to play next year, for real.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I'll finish by the last comment. You know how Grant, right before the Rams game, talked about the football god. It was talking about, man, the football god maybe just setting up the 49ers, who just couldn't, the best team in the league, who couldn't get a win, have a liability quarterback, and sometimes liable head coach, and just hold the fans all into a great hope and anticipation, and then just drops it, and that happens. And I was just, man, I don't try to preach, but I'm just saying, the god of football is our God, man. That's Yahweh right here. I mean, if you remember the Tim Tebow performance, 1 year after his Lombardi Trophy, that 316 stats, man. John 316 ain't a fluke, man. He's real. So I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to see what. This sounds weird, but I'm trying to see what God's doing behind all this, and including all the trash talk, all these football stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for next season. Excited to see the players ball out and see what he does in our life, man.
Yeah, listen, I mean, everything happens for a reason. I firmly believe that. Good, bad, or indifferent. Maybe people don't believe in God. They have their own God, whatever. I'll leave that up to everybody else. But I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And, God only gives you what you can handle. And, in these situations, at the end of the day, this is just football, man. Like, we enjoy it. We love football. But I had a caller call in earlier and one to call in a couple weeks ago that are losing family members. You know what I mean? Like that's real right there. That's real stuff. This football stuff, man, it's just football, but everything happens for a reason, man. And I think the 49ers are going to be great. I think they're going to be back. I'm not too worried about it. You give Trey a year or two, and I think this team, the sky's going to be the limit for this team. I really do. I think good things are on the horizon. And I think you, Jerry, are going to see a Super Bowl trophy hoisted in the near future with Trey Lance at the helm. I believe it.
Hey, let's get it, Jesse. Hey, man, you're the best. I appreciate you. Thanks for giving me a chance to talk. Have a good
Absolutely,
night.
man. All right, brother. You have a good one. That was a great call. All right. Well, I was going to go to Jake, but I can't pull him up. And he just dropped out of the studio. So I'm going to end it here, guys. I appreciate y'all. Have a fantastic night. Thanks for hanging in with me, not only for tonight, but for the season. I appreciate the heck out of each and every one of you. But don't stop, man. This platform for me started last offseason, last February, and I built the whole thing. Obviously lost it and had to bring it back. But I know how to run the off season. I can tell you right now, we're going to have very good content on this channel. We're going to make sure that you are informed, ready to go for the draft, for free agency. We'll make sure that you guys are on the cutting edge, and I'm excited to bring it to you guys. So make sure you stick with me throughout the off season. Let's watch this thing grow. I appreciate all of you. Have a fantastic night. Stay blessed. And until next time,